Hello students of class 8 and welcome to your online classes. Today we would be proceeding with the main course book and completing the chapter The Tsunami. Let us recapitulate a little bit before we proceed into the third section of the story. We were reading accounts of how people were affected by the tsunami waves, how many humans were affected by it and how they managed to survive or they managed to help other people survive. Okay, so what a big disaster it caused, we have already understood. But we have not yet studied about how the animals were affected by the tsunami. Because along with humans, lots of animals also survive with us, right? So this section is about how the animals managed to save themselves, mostly save themselves, and very few animals were actually harmed by the tsunami waves. Okay, so let us find out how. See the beginning of the chapter. I hope you already have opened your book, page number 29. Today we would do page number 29. Page number 29, open it. Okay, see, there's a picture given. It's a very small picture. So look closely at the picture. This picture is a picture of devastation. Okay, a picture of how after the tsunami waves passed, what a big disaster it caused, how it changed the entire coast, the entire beach. Now also notice that there's a boy sitting with his pet dog and sitting there and looking at the devastation. Okay, they are sitting in a heap of they are also sitting in a heap of broken furniture, which probably the boy has lost his home. Okay, maybe his family also, but the dog is there to keep him company, and both of them are observing what a big disaster the tsunami has caused. Okay, now there's a work for you. What you can do it, you have to look at the picture and you have to identify certain catchwords from it. That means, what is the first word that come to your mind when you look at this? You can see it is already given in your book. Calm blue sea, ruined huts. The problem with this is that in our book, the picture is not very prominently given, right? But still, I think it can stir up your imagination as to what a big disastrous event it must have been. So I want you all to write it down in your notebook just as a side assignment, nothing for exams or anything, just to test how much observation power you have. Write down the words which comes to your mind the moment you see the picture. Okay, now let us proceed to the text of section 3. If you do remember that in the beginning of this chapter, I also told you that animals, they sensed this disaster was coming and they did something very clever. What did they do? They tried to take shelter. Okay, they tried to escape from the tsunami waves so that they don't have any problem. Okay, they do not face any problem. So what happened as a result of that? Very few animals and birds were reported actually dead because of the tsunami. Okay, so let us start the third section. The third section is about the animals and birds and how they possess a sixth sense. That means sixth sense. Why is sixth sense? Five sense we already know. All of us have five sensory organs, and because of that we can touch, we can hear, we can feel, we can see. Okay, and we can feel, we can talk. All these senses are there. We all of us have these sensory powers. We have all these senses, but there's a presence of a sixth sense which is present probably in the animals who can feel something disastrous is going to happen. They have an instinctive power to understand that. Now that sixth sense probably comes from the fact that most animals are four-legged and they stay on the ground more. They are more connected to nature. They have a stronger bond with Mother Earth. Okay, and so they feel the tiniest vibrations or any change in the atmosphere, in the environment. They can understand that. They can instinctively identify the problems in the immediate surrounding. If there's a natural disaster happening, if there's some kind of disastrous event coming in the near future, they can identify it very well. And probably because of that, during the tsunami, before the tsunami waves actually hit, the animals were able to save themselves. Okay, so this is probably because the animals possess a strong sixth sense. Their instincts are strong. They feel the vibration of the ground. Okay, that is very important because they were able to save themselves mostly. So let's begin the third section. Follow the book. Before the giant waves slammed into the coast in India and Sri Lanka, wild and domestic animals seemed to know what was about to happen. They fled to safety. According to eyewitness accounts, elephants screamed and ran for higher grounds. Dogs refused to go outdoors. Flamingos abandoned their low-lying breeding areas, and zoo animals rushed into their shelters and could not be enticed to come back. Okay. Enticed means tempted. Okay, they could not be tempted to come out. So what happened? Before the tsunami came, before the tsunami hit the island of India and Sri Lanka, the animals were behaving in a strange fashion. What was the observation by the eyewitness? They fled to safety. All the animals fled to safety. Now, many people have reported what happened before the tsunami came, how the animals behaved. Let us see. Firstly, the elephants, they started screaming. Okay, they started making a very screaming sound. They understood that something dangerous is going to happen and they ran for higher ground. Okay, a place away from the beach, further away from the sea, so that they can save themselves. Dogs refused to go outdoors. The domestic dogs, they refused to go away from their house, away from the inside or the protective shelter of the house. Flamingos abandoned their low-lying breeding areas, and zoo animals rushed into their shelters and could not be enticed to come out. You know what a flamingo is? Flamingo is kind of a crane. Okay, it's a very beautiful, very colorful crane, beautiful bird. Okay, it's a bird and they live in the breeding areas where the seawater is shallow. Okay, or in lagoons also they can live. So from there, they went away from there. They flew away from that spot because they understood that something is wrong with earth. And zoo animals rushed into their shelters and they could not be enticed to come out. They could not be tempted to come out. In any way, nobody could make them come out of their protective shelter. So this paragraph tells us that before the giant waves hit India and Sri Lanka, the animals could understand because of their sixth sense, because of their animal instinct, strong instinct. They could understand, they could feel the vibration of the earth and they could understand that something wrong is going to happen, something disastrous is going to happen. Okay. Many people believe that animals possess a sixth sense, underlined sixth sense, and know when the earth is going to shake. Some experts believe that animals' more acute hearing helps them to hear or feel the earth's vibration. This line also you underline. From animals' more acute hearing helps them to hear or feel the earth's vibration. Underline this line. They can sense an approaching disaster long before humans realize what's going on. Okay, so before the humans have an understanding of what is going to happen, even with our advanced scientific technological devices, we cannot be so much fast to realize when earth is going to shake or something bad is going to happen. But the animals can do that. Okay, because of their instinctive power. We cannot be sure whether animals have a sixth sense or not, but the fact is that The giant waves that rolled through the Indian Ocean killed more than 150,000 people in a dozen countries. But not many animals have been reported dead. That means many people have died because of the giant waves. But no, very few animals were actually reported dead because the animals could understand it and they were able to save themselves. Okay, so let us stop over here for today's session. We would be continuing from the next paragraph. Now, whatever work you can do is you can do the comprehension check on your own. Okay, you can write it. You can write it because we have already discussed the question answers. Well, I'll be giving you the question answers also after the whole chapter is over. But before that, be ready with the question answers. The moment I put up the assignment, you can give me your answers also. Okay, because if you write your own answers, it would be very good. You should develop this power of writing answers on your own, because if you write a unique answer, there's a chance that in the board exams you will get better marks than others who are writing the same answer. Okay, so try to write your own answer, but it shouldn't be your own imagination. It should be something related to the text. Okay, so thank you for today's session. Study well and stay safe.